Well, for a long time, the bookbinder story was always one interesting to spring on people, and now it's like, hey, it's that old bookbinder story.
The story of Old Book's ghost, which was witnessed by hundreds of individuals, so it's hard to discount something like that.
The story of Old Book has been discussed a lot in this area. Old Book became a legend. They never could prove whether it was fact or if it was fiction. But what they do know is that there was an Old Book. He was 26 years old when he was admitted to Peoria State, and he had worked in a printing firm, and his job was to manually bind books. His illness prevented him from speaking. They didn't know his name, but they had his occupation as a bookbinder. So he was admitted as a bookbinder. A manual bookbinder got 6 handkerchiefs at the cost of 12 cents from the state. That was in the records. He was young and healthy. Although he was demented, he was harmless. Patients that were able to work back then were assigned jobs, and he was put on the burial detail. And his job was to go out with 5 other men, and they would dig a grave, and after the funeral was performed, they were to cover the grave up. As the service progressed, he would start to cry. It would get to the point where he would be wailing, and he'd go over next to the elm tree. Dr. Zeller said that it was so big that it dwarfed the surrounding trees, and people would come to eat their lunch under the tree and to rest in the shade. So it was a wonderful tree. People even got married under the tree. But that was Old Book's refuge. He would go under the tree and he would cry. He became well known for this. And they said that it was probably went back to something tragic that happened in his life at a funeral, and he kept recalling it at every funeral. And that's why he cried so hard. He was there from 1904 until 1910. He was there 6 years. And by the time he died, he was pretty well known. And at his funeral, Dr. Zeller said that he officiated, and there was 100 nurses there. And he said, they were all in their white uniforms, and he said they were all off to the side. He said they all looked like white lilies out there. He said they were beautiful. 300 other well-wishers selected patients along with the burial staff. The 4 men got a hold of the end of the ropes, and they gave a pull to pull this heavy casket up, and it flew up in the air like an eggshell, and they fell on their backsides. The nurses screamed, "What's going on?" At that moment, they heard crying, and they looked over at the elm tree, and there was Old Book standing there crying. With trembling hands, the workers took the screws out and opened the lid, and as soon as they opened the casket, the crying stopped, and Dr. Zeller peeked in,